Hey people, I'm what's her name, or Elizabeth, whatever you prefer to call me, and I think this is going to be the first video I actually post. I've done a few kind of goofing around videos trying to see what I want to do and what I want to talk about, and I think I've decided that this channel is going to be, it's going to be a hodgepodge because I have poor attention span issues, like so many of us do, but I think primarily it's going to be, I enjoy reading and I have some reading goals this year, so I kind of have this idea that this channel, that this whole experience can be a way to kind of help keep me accountable to my reading goals. That being said, for someone who just claimed to be a reader, I have a sad confession to make. That confession is that my reading goal was actually very small and pathetic this year. It is only 10 books, and it is August, and I'm reading my third book of the year. So there's that. Life's been complicated. Things have been going on. Having to take care of people I love very much that are sick and all kinds of stuff, which is probably why my posting schedule might be a little spontaneous, will be the word I decide to use here, at least for a little while until I have a better feel for what I'm doing and have a kind of a rhythm down. So there's that. And anyways, so last year, like, there was stuff going on and I was worried and stressed, so I started reading my favorite book. A book I read several times. I know this story. I've never not known this story. My mom used to read it to me when I was little, and that story is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And with Jane Eyre, the thing about that is the language is just so beautiful, and I really enjoy letting myself get lost in it. So it's not one of those books that I want to, at least for me, like, there's some books that they're kind of chaotic enough in what's going on that you can read them in a chaotic situation. Jane isn't one of those. Jane's, you need a quiet place. You need to be able to take a deep breath and have your ambiance set around you, a candle, some gentle music, a good cup of tea, and then dive in and read a little bit. And moments for that, even missing one or two elements of what I just described, were very difficult to come by last year, and difficult to come by for good chunks of this year. We family members sick in and out of hospitals, moving, lots of craziness. So I finished Jane Eyre at the beginning of the month, and I had kind of been doing some research on what I wanted to read, and so after that I dove right into Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, and I loved it. It was a whole lot of fun. Excuse me. I didn't know too much going into it. I kind of knew that before she wrote Carry On, she wrote Fangirl, and I want to read Fangirl, but I was just a little more intrigued by Carry On. I just kind of wanted something that was a little further removed from Jane Eyre than I felt Fangirl would be. Don't ask me why I felt that, but I did. Maybe the fact it was technically it's a fantasy novel. So anyways, I read Carry On, and even with the craziness of life and work schedule, I finished it in like 4 or 5 days. So that was a lot of fun. I felt very accomplished. And after that, I started reading the book I'm currently reading, which I have here, naked, because I don't leave dust covers on when I'm reading because I tend to damage the dust covers. I have some first edition Harry Potters on my shelf that can attest to that, because I was under 13 and a little rougher with books than I should have been. So this is the book I'm reading right now, Six of Crows by Bardugo. I would say her first name, but I tend to say it wrong. Like, I want it to be Leah, and it might be Lay or Leia. I don't quite know. I'm very bad with pronunciation. I'm just a simple Texas girl, okay? So don't judge me. You can judge me. That's okay. So anyways, I'm enjoying Six of Crows immensely, even if I can't pronounce half the names that I'm encountering. But it's really fun because it just kind of begs to be read in this like really fun, probably horribly offensive Russian-y accent. So that's fun. And I'm a little more than halfway. We're getting to places. We're getting to a place that's a goal. And things are about to happen. So I've slowed down in how much I'm reading it because I got a feeling that once we reach a certain place and we really dive into the beginning of what the goal is for all of us to be together. I don't want to spoil something for people who haven't read it, although I feel most people have. I feel like I'm very late to the game here. But anyways, once things get started, once we're at the location, not getting to the location, I have a feeling that I will not stop until I have completed the book, which can be a problem when I don't really get a good chance to start reading until everyone else is settled down to bed, and it's about 10:30 by the time I can actually start snuggling and reading. Speaking of, it's 10:35 and I could be snuggling in and reading, and instead I'm doing this. So I'm sacrificing reading time for you right now, so you should feel special. So anyways, depending on how, I assume, because it's a duology and everything, I assume that there is a cliffhanger ending, and it depends on how demanding that cliffhanger is. If it's a good cliffhanger, I can usually talk myself into savoring that anticipation and do something else between the next point, the next book. But if it's a bad enough cliffhanger, screw that. I'm back right into Crooked Kingdom. I have it. It's like right, you can't see it because the camera's right here. But Crooked Kingdom is right on my shelf, right over there on the caddy cornered from me. It's staring me in the face. So, right, I have Crooked Kingdom. I'm enjoying Six of Crows. A couple of the other things I have floating around that I'm debating on what I want to grab next. And it's really just going to depend on what my mood is when I'm done with the book. So it probably will depend on whether or not I find it depressing. But I have technically it's meant for a younger audience, but the movie looked cute and I hadn't heard of it before, so I picked it up and wanted to give it a try. And this is probably just like a day or two read, even with my chaotic schedule. But it's glaring. The House with a Clock in Its Walls by John Bellairs. I believe there's a series here, but I just have this first one that I was going to get going with. I do not know if the movie's supposed to cover more or not, but this is what I have. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to give it a try. And then I have Fangirl that I could read because I'm still a little obsessed with Simon and Baz. I'm a lot obsessed with Simon and Baz. I can't wait for Wayward Son, and I have to wait for like 2 years. I have a really bad habit of getting hooked on a series and catching it just in time to have to wait 2 years for a book. I did that. There was so much waiting with Harry Potter. We started reading it when I was 11, and we only had Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets at the time. On the plus side, with the exception of The Goblet of Fire, because it came out the week I was at summer camp, and my parents would not let me abandon summer camp because we paid for it and everything. But with the exception of The Goblet of Fire, I was at a midnight book release for Prisoner of Azkaban, and then skip Goblet of Fire, and then the rest of them I even went to midnight book release for The Cursed Child, which I have opinions on. And from my understanding, my opinions are not the most popular opinions on that, but that is for another video. That is for another time. So, Fangirl. Now, Fangirl, apparently there's like a red cover edition that is like fancy and has like all these extra add-ins and like fan art in it and all this fun stuff, and I didn't know that was a thing, so I just got this copy. And now this copy is very pretty. I like the seafoamy green, and like the book underneath is like a nice gray, and I do enjoy that color combination. It is something I find to be soothing. So I am not 100% sure if I'll find the subject matter completely soothing. I have a feeling I might feel, I don't know, based off the summary, I was mildly concerned. I just feel convicted being a fangirl. So, you know, there's that. But then there's some other fun stuff. I have a couple of other options. I won't drag that all in because that will make this video very long. But yeah, so there'll just be some random ranting, talking about what books I'm reading, probably some hauls and unboxings. Probably nothing super exciting just yet. At the moment, the only subscription box I am a part of is Book of the Month, which is not a big fancy subscription box. It's like it's either $15 or $15.99. So $15 or $16, it includes the shipping, and you get exclusive content, and it's all like brand new and all of that. So I like that. And you know, $15, that's something you can, a little indulgence that, you know, you don't end up feeling guilty about. So I've got that. Actually, the book I have for this month that is part of it is the dinner list from this month. And considering how the month before that I was very interested into the suspenseful thriller one. The name of it escapes me. It's hiding over there and I can't quite read it from where I am. It's being blocked by an Xbox at the moment. But so anyways, it's what seemed interesting to me, and I think it's like an exclusive or something like that. I think I remember seeing that, but that could be a lie. I'm sure someone will correct me if it is. But yeah, I enjoy it, and I like that things are marked like it tells you. So of course it's going to be a kind of thing where if I skip a month, I'm going to hate myself because my collection's going to have a gap. So, you know, little things we set ourselves up for. But anyways, so yeah, this is me, and this is just kind of what I'll be doing. There also will probably be content in regards to some of the crafting I enjoy. I crochet, and I do a little bit of embroidering and random crafty stuff. Usually it's something like I see something and I want it, but I don't want to spend the money for it, so I figure out how to make my own version. My latest thing was, because I really, really like the idea of some of the fancy subscription boxes with all the goodies and swag. And it's just not, I don't know, I couldn't pick one. And so anyways, it just isn't going to work out right now. You know, too many fun adult responsibilities. So I'm not partaking of that at the moment. But I like, you know, some of the pretty bookmarks that came with it and stuff like that. So I was kind of trying my hand out at some simple little versions of some of that kind of stuff. Actually, the bookmark I'm using for, where did I put it? Oh, it's hiding over here. The bookmark I'm using for Six of Crows is one I did, and it's like stupid easy. So, I mean, I know it's nothing to write home about, but I use like scrapbooking paper, so it's like kind of textured and shimmery, and then a print, and then just some cool retro-y mannequin stickers with rounded corners because I don't like sharp pointy things. So yeah, anyways, that's what this is kind of going to be. It's going to be a bit of a journey discovering how successful I'll be with using it, and what kind of videos I actually enjoy making, what kind of videos people are seeming to want to watch. So yeah, this is me just saying hi. I love to get to know you, and join me on this journey of insanity that is most things I try to do. So yeah, salutations.